Hi, I am Olivia, and this is my first personal live. Thank you for watching. And tonight there's just so many things on my mind that I want to talk about. The one thing that I've picked up in life is how much we choose to carry a burden and a load that does not belong to us. We hold on to things that we should not be holding on. And just think about it. It's school holidays, and yet you are stressing, what are the children going to do? You have to go to work, and you stress about the workload that was never even yours. What is it that you have decided to pick up that is robbing you of truly living your life? Right? I try to to lighten the mood, to see the joy and the pleasure in life, to enjoy what is yours. And I want to ask, when was the last time you truly enjoyed something? That you just had fun, let go, that you just enjoy who you are, how far you have come, what you have achieved, the road that you have traveled. When was the last time that you take stock of all the amazingness that is you, without any but or what if or should have, could have, why didn't I? But just, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and you told yourself how freaking amazing and awesome you are? Because look, if you don't do it, few other people will do it, unless you are married to an amazing person who reminds you of that. But if you don't have that amazing person, who does that for you? You should. You should do that. You are at the beginning of the end of another week and the beginning of a new one. What are your expectations for this week? What are you hoping for? What are you wishing for? Do you know? Have you thought about it? Or already, like I did for a long time, it's like when the sun sets on a Saturday night, already I'm beginning to feel so depressed, because the next day, which is today, is Sunday, and then I would have to go to a workplace I absolutely hate and detest. Is that where you are right now? Is that what you are thinking? I worked at a place that was so bad, like really, really bad, that when I started, one of my co-workers asked me, have you already started praying for the supervisor to die? That's how bad it was at that place. So what are your expectations for this week? Do you have any goals for this week? Because sometimes you are in such a space that just thinking about tomorrow, it demoralizes you. It paralyzes you. You know that sinking feeling you get at the pit of your stomach? You know that feeling you get, that constant wall of depression that's on your shoulders? You know that weight that it just feels like you wake up with it and you go to bed with it because you absolutely hate your job. So if you hate your job so much, then what do you do to look forward? How do you find the joy? How do you find that hope? How do you find that fire inside of you? There are three things that cause stress, and they are tied. When you look at those three things, everything else is connected. Actually, two things. It's money and relationships. If one of those two sucks, life sucks. Life absolutely sucks. Because look, if anyone tells you, oh, money doesn't matter, it does. To be so broke that you can't even buy food, don't tell me that money doesn't matter. It sucks when you don't have it. I love money. I like it. It gives you freedom and options. And if money is flowing, life is flowing. The other thing that can suck the life out of you, relationships. Who do you have in your life right now? Think about that for a moment. Who do you have in your life that's either inspiring you, feeding your soul, calming your heart, bringing you joy, putting a smile on your face? Do you have that person in your life? Then if you look at the other side, who do you have that's sucking the very life out of you? Who's killing your spirit, killing your dreams, sucking your energy? Those two kind of people, they either motivate and inspire, bold, and feed your soul, or they destroy you. The interesting thing about life that I had to learn the hard way is we decide who we want in our lives. And too often, people are in your life because we feel guilty, but because we've known them for so long. How do I end this friendship when this person was there for me when I needed someone? Those are the questions that we ask. But you know what? What happened yesterday or 5 years ago when you were going through a bad patch and someone was there for you then? But in the meantime, that person became a liability. He or she became a load. They became a burden to your soul. It is time to let them go. One of the toughest things to do is to end a relationship that doesn't serve you anymore. It sounds harsh. It sounds so impersonal because that person was there for you when no one else was. So what will it say about you when you say no more? You know, that is why I said in the beginning is that what do you have to look forward to? And if you don't have anything to look forward to in a relationship, you need to ask yourself, what am I still doing here? And why is this person still part of my life? It's not an easy question to answer. And look, no one can decide this for you. Only you can. Because it's very easy for people to dictate. You should leave him. You should leave her. You should do this and that. It's very easy. No one can decide how you should run your life. It's your life. It's your decisions, your choices. And at the end of the day, you have to carry the burden of the responsibility of those choices. Life is beautiful. It's amazing. It is inspiring. It is refreshing. There's so many things that life has to offer. So much. You know, we came through COVID-19, which now it's a memory. And sometimes you have to wonder, did it really happen? What? You know, it's like those 2 years never happened. But it took so much out of us. It robbed us of so much. But we cannot go back there and change things and make them undone. What we have is now. It's this moment. Right here, right now. There's no other moment like this. This is that moment that we have. And if we keep living in the past, we miss the moment. I would know. I have missed countless moments because I was living in the past. I kept on going back to the past. That is something that you never completely lose. Doesn't matter what they say. Start, get a new way of thinking, renew your mind. Your battle is, how do you renew your mind? How do you let go of the past? How do you say goodbye to what was, but it didn't work for you? How do you embrace what worked and what is working for you? When you start looking at life and you see the possibilities, you see the beauty, and you begin to appreciate, that is the beginning of when you start living. Does this happen automatic? Hell no. Hell no. You know, people tell you when you are unhappy and you're going through stuff, people say to you, you know what? I think you should do A, B, C, and D. Or they say, you know what? I think that would be a better decision. No one can decide for you. When you are going through stuff, when you are in a tight spot, when you are going through difficulties, like everyone does at some stage in their lives, it takes immense strength, determination, motivation, supernatural strength to get out of that mindset of feeling depressed, unhappy, humiliated, embarrassed, lost, like a loser. That doesn't happen automatic. It doesn't. So how do you go from a space of feeling that all is lost to a space where you can fully embrace life? You can enjoy the moment. You can appreciate what you have and who you are. It starts with looking at the simple things in life. You know, there's the law of attraction that everyone is talking about. If the law of attraction was so effective, why do we get so many poor people and struggling and unhappy people? The law of attraction does not work, right? It doesn't. I tried. Believe me, I tried. Very hard for many years. But what does work is when you make a decision, a constant, actually a conscious, determined, committed decision that from now on, things are going to be different. From now on, my life is going to be better. From this moment onwards, I will demand only the best and nothing less than the best. And you need to decide what that best is for you. No one else can decide it. And you need to see. First, you need to look at yourself and see yourself for who you truly are. You know, you were created in amazingness, in power. You are empowered and enlightened. You are powerful and beautiful and amazing. You are so unique. There's no one else like you. There's no one better than you. There's no one worse than you. There is only you. That is one of the keys to start living life. Because the worst things that we do to ourselves, two things: compare and compete. Oh my gosh, if I were to compare myself now to others, I would go to bed in a dark room, pull the blankets over my head and cry for the next 500 years because I can find 1,000 people who are better than me. Comparison. Compete. Oh my gosh, you just bought a house and I'm still renting? Oh, there must be something wrong with me. Competition. You got a new job. Oh my gosh, and I'm still stuck in the same old one. Competition and comparison. And what that does, it's robbing you from seeing how truly amazing you are. You know, when God created you, what do you think He created? What did He give to you? He gave you all the gifts. He gave you all the talents. We want to search all over. It's like, if I want to write a book, oh, I must do like 100 writing courses. God has given you the talent to write, but you're not writing. I think that I should be making clothes, but I must first do a designer course. And in the meantime, you're making clothes for your whole family free of charge, using your talent. You see where this is going? You have natural born talents. Are you the one that people always come to when they want to feel better? That's your gift. That's your talent. Are you the one that people always look up to for inspiration? That's your gift. It's your talent. Can you build a garden like no one else can? It's your gift. You know, if you can clean a house the way that no one else can, that's your gift. We think, and this is the reason we end up feeling depressed, useless, unhappy, and like losers. Because we think that an angel will arrive with a massive bell that goes ding dong with neon lights that will say, here is your talent to use it. And all along we ignore those talents because there's always the next thing that we want to do before we actually live the life God intended us to live. So what are your expectations for this week? Are you looking forward to this week? Do you have hope? Do you have any expectations of good things to come? What do you want to see happen in this week that is coming? You know, to be alone, it's a terrible thing. When being alone means being afraid, unhappy, and lost. But it's a good thing when being alone means that you can connect with the spirit within. Everything in life has two sides to the coin, depending on how you look at it. So how do you look at your life? Do you see the beauty of the little things? What are those little things? It's so easy to see what you don't have. Very easy. And the more you look at what you don't have, the more you see what you don't have. And the more you become unhappy and disconnected, and the more you regret. And you feel ashamed. You know, shame is such an evil. Pardon. It's a sneaky, pervasive, mean little monster that is so deeply embedded in us that we don't even see it. This is what shame does. You have a brilliant idea, and shame tells you, no, you can't do that. If people find out who you really are, they go, no. You better stay hiding in the shadows. If you put yourself out there, they will know who you are. They will know what you are capable of. That is shame. Shame is what keeps you in bondage. It is what is stopping you from doing what is in your heart. Shame tells you, you don't want to offend people? That's shame. Because shame brings fear and guilt. And from that, resentment, anger, bitterness are being born from one negative emotion. So, how do you change the negative into the positive? Right? Because you're supposed to think positive things. But how can you think positive when you are consumed by unhappiness? One thought at a time. And you hold on to that good thought with your dear life, because your life depends on it. One good thought. That's why I keep on asking, what are you hoping for? You know, when we pray, right? We wake up in the middle of the night to pray. We go out at church for prayer. We pray with snot and trana. We pray begging God to answer our prayers, because why has He forgotten us? What have I done to deserve this? That's how our prayer goes. Why don't you try it the other way? Have you ever tried praying, giving thanks to God for what you want from Him? Instead of crying about what you don't have, why don't you try praising God for what you want Him to do for you? Consider that. What is in your heart right now? I mean, without the fluff, without the what you think you should be doing or what you think you want. What do you really want? What is in your heart? What is burning inside of you that you don't even want to see? Give God thanks. Give thanks to God for answering that prayer. There are so many people, you know, I'm sorry, I thought I was not going to talk about relationships, but I just need to. There are so many people, and here I talk specifically to women. There's a certain age that a woman gets when she's no longer looking for a boyfriend. She's looking for a husband. And some chemical reaction happens where when you look at a man, you don't see a man, you see possible husband material. Everyone is like, hey, hello, who's that? So I'm talking to the women who are in that age. Because the same woman, in most instances, not all, because listen, yeah, I'm not generalizing. So if you feel that the shoe fits, it's okay, because I don't know you, I don't know your circumstances. This is just what I've observed through the years. The same woman who's praying to God for a husband is the same woman who says to God, no, any man will do. Right. Then you'll get any man. Because you don't have standards. And you will always attract low lives into your world. Trust me on that one. It's a sure thing. The same woman who's saying that she doesn't want a man is the same woman who says, I don't believe in marriage. All men are scum. All men are cheaters. All men are this, all men are that. But she's looking for a man. What kind of man do you think that you will attract into your life? Or woman, for that matter? Well, do you think you will attract into your life if you are talking and thinking negatively about the very thing that you want. There's nothing wrong with being alone. There's also nothing wrong with being married or being in a relationship. But what is wrong is when your motivation and your reasons are twisted. So if you are looking for, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective to another woman. If you are looking for a man, what are your expectations? What are your standards? What are you looking for in a man? Because as long as you say, no, any man, as long as I can have a man, any man will do, then you will get any man. And you will keep on being the woman who always say, I'm so tired. I don't know why I get this kind of man. I don't know why I have to raise babies. But you said any man. It's you need standards. You need to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you will know what you want. You can't know what you want if you don't know who you are. And the danger of not knowing who you are, you will be swayed by anything and everything. And to know who you are, you don't have to be butch. No one tells me anything. No, we don't need you to be like that. We need you to embrace who you are. That's what the world needs. I once read a post, I heard the post, me and my children against the world. What are you teaching your children? If you are teaching them that in order to find someone, you need to be aggressive and you need to be tough and you need to be all those ugly things so no one will mess with you. Guess what? Everybody will mess with you because you expect them to be, because of your issues, your anger, your expectations. All you need to be is to be yourself. And the real you is not the ugly, afraid, doubtful person. The real you are brave and courageous and amazing and powerful and inspiring. You are here to make your mark, to live this life with passion, with power, with conviction. You are here to live your life with everything you've got. You've got so much to offer. Oh my gosh. Don't you see how much you have to offer? Don't you see how much space you take up? Good space. That is who you are. That is what you are. You just need to see that. No one has power over you. No one. No man, no woman has power over you. You are God's child. Do you know what that means? It means you have access to all the powers of heaven. You have access to all the amazing tools that you will need, not to survive, but to prosper, to thrive, to live in this world. It is no accident that you are living in this time, in this lifetime, because you are here to do a job that only you can do. What is that job? Do you know? Do you understand your role? Do you know what it means to be here, to be living, to be alive in this moment? What are you waiting for? What is holding you back to live this life in its fullest? To begin to live life, you need to become aware of all the little miracles that's taking place around you. Because if you focus on the big, overwhelming, dark, depressing picture, you will never get out of that unhappiness. Never. But if you start focusing on the small little miracles, then life will begin to change because you will look at it differently. What are those little miracles? Look in the mirror and you will see the biggest miracle of them all. The miracle of you. Your heart is beating. Do you know what happens when your heart is beating? It's pumping blood to every part of your body. Do you realize what a miracle that is? Because your brain is controlling everything. There are so many processes happening. As you are watching right now, you can hear, see, smell, taste, feel. Your heart is beating, your lungs, your kidneys, all your major organs, they are operating without you even doing a thing. All you are doing is breathing. You are alive. That is the biggest miracle of them all. My God, do you see how amazing you are? How wonderfully you were made? Do you see the power and the possibility of you? You must stop listening to the chatter and the nonsense and the negativity. Look at you. You are not a failure. You have never been a failure. You have always been powerful. You have always been a success. You have always been this amazing human being. All you have to do is to see it. Do you see it? Do you believe it? Do you embrace it? Look at the miracle. That is you. You allow someone else who has no right to take control of your thoughts and feed you with fear and doubt and insecurity and all those ugly things that's killing your heart and your spirit. And you accept those lies. Who told you that you will never make it? Who told you that you can't do things? Who told you that you don't deserve good things? And you believe them? You believe the lie? While you ignoring the wonder and the miracle of you? Don't you see how much you have done to come to this point where you are right now, this minute? Don't you see what you have overcome to still be here and still standing? Take the moment to applaud yourself for being that warrior woman, that warrior man, for being that brave soul who rose up and did what was needed to be done. How do you get back to the space where you can see the beauty, where you have hope again? The little, countless, tiny miracles. The biggest one, that is you. I live in Pretoria. It's the most beautiful city in springtime. And I have learned to appreciate, to watch the process of the trees and the flowers blooming, to see a sunrise, a sunset, to look at the dewdrops early in the morning, to see how the new day unfolds in front of you. Those are the little miracles. someone's face who lights up just because of you. Someone who smiles because you make their lives better. Someone who's alive today because of you. Those are the little miracles that you must take stock of and remember. Not to impress someone or to remind them, but to remind yourself. Begin by wanting to impress yourself with goodness, with happiness, with love, faith, and hope. When you wake up in the mornings and you have to go to that awful job that you have with those awful people and the awful boss, give thanks and say to yourself, those horrible people, they're not going to affect my day today. One thought at a time. No man and no woman has control over you. No one. That is the absolute power of free will. Free will is the power to choose. Free will is when you decide, if I tell you that you are amazing and someone else tells you that you're a piece of rubbish, free will is to decide which one you choose. That is free will. Free will is not the power to do as I please and no one tells me anything because I know what I'm doing. Does it sound familiar? That's not free will. That is abusing the power of free will. Free will is when you realize and understand the true power you have to choose. And the ultimate choice that you have, it's the choice of thought. Nothing else matters except that. When you look at me right now, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts right now? Those thoughts will determine your life. I will say that again because we keep on hearing your thoughts determine your life. You need to stop. You must have positive thoughts for a positive life. It's rubbish. Positive thoughts for positive lives. Let me say what happens. With your thoughts, how do you determine your life? It's when you become conscious, when you become aware. As an example, say for instance, I walk into the lounge and I bumped, there's a cup of coffee standing on the floor and I kick the cup of coffee over. Now immediately, this cup of coffee, first of all, should not have been standing on the floor in my way. And it stains my beautiful rug that I spend thousands of rands on. And immediately I'm angry. Who is the idiot who put a cup of coffee on the floor? You know what that is, what I'm doing? I'm giving my power away to someone else. True power is when I come and I bump that cup of coffee. Because I can look at it that even though that cup of coffee was never supposed to have been there in the first place. But if I were away, I would have seen the cup of coffee. So now I've spilled it. The normal reaction is anger and blaming the fool who put the coffee there. But true power is when you look at this and you ask yourself the right questions. And you don't blame. You take a step back. That is true consciousness. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds so stupid. And it sounds out of this world like I'm living in La La Land. But that is true power. Is when you are aware of your reaction every time something happens. When someone disrespects you, what is your response? Especially when you go to the shops. Look, South African shops, very, very often, it's an unpleasant experience to go into shopping. Because it seems like sometimes people are just unconscious behind the till. And then, you go into the shop, you are fine, I'm coming to do my shopping. And then you ask like, where do I find this? Like, you get the blank stare. You arrive at the till, you get the bad service. Or someone is plain rude to you. And I'm not saying this is everyone. I'm just making an example. And you walk out of that shop and you feel down, and that person just spoiled your whole day. You're giving away your power. You're not conscious. And I've been there. I remember I was so bad that my husband would warn me and say, listen, we're going to the shop. The service is bad. Please don't stress. That's how bad I was. Until I realized I don't know the person behind the till. I don't know what he or she is going through. I don't know whether it's an issue at work, an issue at home, or a previous customer. So how do you take your power back? Is when you look and you can see someone's pain, someone's unhappiness, and you can see someone's frustration and understand it's not about you. You then have the power on how you respond to someone else's rudeness. And very often, when you don't respond, when you don't give fire with fire, fight fire with fire, you will get a different reaction. Instead of making it about you. It's the same case that when you drive and someone is rude on the road, and you're like, I don't know this person. What have I done to this person? You haven't done anything. It's about that person's attitude and his issues or their issues that's affecting you. And you can only decide, do I now become aggressive towards that person? Or do I say, I don't know what this is all about. This has nothing to do with me. And take a step back. Do you think that comes easily and automatically? Because society dictates, when you are rude to me, I must be rude back. When you say something, I must say something better. When you do me harm, I will come back at you. But what do you achieve with that? You're just creating unnecessary enemies. For nothing. You know how tiring it is to be always fighting with people. You know how much that takes out of you. So that by the time that the real battle comes, you don't have the strength to fight anymore because you have wasted your energy on useless battles that means nothing. Let's see what those useless battles are. Someone said something about me. Tough. People will always say things about you. Oh, they don't like me. Tough. No one will, it's impossible for everybody to like you. Oh, they are jealous. Oh yeah, let them be. You just live your life. Useless battles. You spent your entire life on what people are saying about me. What people are thinking about me. I don't care. You can say what you want and you can think what you want. I know what I'm all about. I know I'm here to live my life. I am here to do what needs to be done. I am here to be true to that voice inside of me. Not the outside chatter, the chatter the whole time. I don't care what you say about me. It's irrelevant. Because what you say about me, it's not going to pay my bills. It's not going to put food on my table. It's not going to make me richer. It's not going to make any of my dreams come true. It's irrelevant. But what is important is what I say about myself. What are you saying about yourself? When those moments of intense doubt and fear comes, what are you saying about yourself? Do you believe it? Do you buy into it? Do you accept it? Or do you remind yourself how amazing and powerful and blessed you are? Ask yourself that question. Am I ready? Am I ready to remind myself of the power, the beauty, the amazingness, the absolute fabulousness, the true me, the empowered being, filled with possibility, filled with life, filled with imagination, the person who is able to make every dream come true. Because you trust, you believe, and you do. And your focus is not on what people say. People will always say things. Your focus is always what needs to be done. What can I do? And then do it. The little things, it matters. A book starts with one letter that becomes a word. The word becomes a sentence. The sentence becomes a paragraph. And the paragraphs become a chapter. And the chapter becomes a book. And that is life. What is the first letter that you are going to write to start your week, your day, your life? What is it that you need to do to write the sentences of your book that will become the paragraphs? Only you can decide that, no one else. This is life, but it's also your story. And you need to tell your story in the best possible way. You need to tell your story with power, with vigor, with conviction, with confidence. You need to tell your story with joy, love, faith, and hope. You need to tell your story filled with every possibility and every opportunity. And you must tell the story because you made use of this life that you have. You are, I cannot say that enough. You are amazing. You know, you are so amazing, so wonderful, and so great. You need to embrace that. You need to come alive with the knowledge of who you are. Find it within yourself. Live it, embrace it, experience it. I am Olivia, and thank you so much to every single person who have been watching. I do appreciate it, and I'm signing out for this Sunday. I think it's the first Sunday in October. Yeah. For this new month, new week, have a wonderful, amazing, amazing week. Take back your power, remember who you are, and live this life according to your rules and your standards. Make it count and be happy. Watch out for my next live video, and thank you so much. I've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I'm saying bye-bye.